Hello, hello everyone. Happy Friday. I thought I would jump on here. I am working on going through my finished pages and I thought, why not do a layout share at the same time? How is everyone? How was your guys' holidays? This is very random, so let me know in the comments if you catch the replay. I would love to hear how your holidays were. It's definitely bittersweet, right? It's always bittersweet coming off the holidays. I have been reflecting, of course, on all these finished pages from this last year. It's on my to-do list for as far as organization. We have our organizational, I'll try to pull this over. It's an overhead here, but not only was I able to organize my tabs, and I'm loving all of your guys' tabs that you're organizing, we do have our organizational event, which is on January 11th, I think. So that's coming up. But along with that organizational focus for me anyhow, is going through my finished pages and, actually putting them away in the albums. I did get a few albums for Christmas. So I may have gifted it to myself, but that's what I wanted. I wanted a few more albums because all my other ones are full. Not only do I have this bucket, I have this bucket of finished layouts, guys. I have this other bucket of finished layouts. I have this bucket of finished layouts. This bucket of finished layouts. So I have a lot of finished layouts, and I feel like I've already done one of these type of videos previously where I was going through my pages. So I've talked about my process and my method to help me to kind of get to these finished pages many times. The thing is, I'm able to constantly be adding to that pile, which I didn't have an album that was empty to add them to. And now I have this issue where I have all these finished pages. I need to get into some albums, right? I'm not going to go through all these buckets. I actually think what I'll do is maybe a video for each one of these buckets, do with its own layout share for each of those buckets, because we would be here for quite a while, right? But I do want to share, I don't know, we're going to find out what's inside of this bucket together. It's really what I'm thinking. Whenever I personally organize or get to this point, I guess I should say, of starting to try to, go through my pages to put them away in the albums. So I've shared this before, but I don't scrapbook in chronological order. I am more of a what am I inspired to scrapbook type of person, and that really brings me a lot of joy. And so of course scrapbooking is just, so much joy, and it's just so much to enjoy about it. And so definitely making the time, even despite your busy schedules, because guys, I completely understand, but I have experienced over and over again the joy, of course, that the actual scrapbooking these pages are, right? And documenting those memories and enjoying that process, and then celebrating those moments after, and those that matter most to us, right? All of those feelings, and just being inspired every time I look back at my pages. So there's just this continual joy that's to be had from this beautiful hobby. And so of course it's my preferred hobby. My preferred hobby. So right off the bat, I have these up here on the top of my page. Let's see if I can actually show page. It's dark here. It's cold. I don't know if it's cold where you are, but it is cold today. So I have no plans to go anywhere. I just want to stay home. But then I was looking at this thinking, I need to start working on getting these organized. So usually how I start is I'll make piles. I'm not going to do this right here because this space won't allow me to, but I will do a layout share. I'll make piles and I'll separate them by years. Sometimes I can have a huge span of layouts from 2005 to 2023, for example. And then what I do is I have my albums in by year, and then I go in and place those. It's why I love D-rings, 3-rings binders. I've shared this before too. I was gonna go get my new binder because this is just a common question that I get all the time. I think I have talked to so many scrapbookers, and I think whatever works for you is great. But it's actually why I choose ring binders is because I don't scrapbook in chronicle order. So when I'm putting pages away, it's actually easier for me to put them or tuck them in their appropriate album, because I do organize them by years. I just don't scrapbook by years, because then they're a lot easier to do that with a 3-ringer, or I feel like it is. So I prefer these. They've actually worked really well. I've used them over a decade, at least over a decade. And it's the We Are's. Those are my preferred albums. And I just have stuck with them because they do the job, right? So they hold up. I've moved a few times in that, 10 to 15 years span, and they still seem to hold up. So I'm happy with them. Well, so this layout, actually, this takes me back to the beginning of this year when we released the Mini Riley border, which I believe was either maybe around February of this year. And this was just a really fun page to play with and just kind of, explore different ways to use those mini borders on a 2-page spread. And so I really had fun, I think, for this page, really doing a photo lineup across the bottom here, but then mimicking that photo lineup in small strip above. I do think when you do this approach, I will say adding just a nice clean half strip really kind of box that photo strip up at the bottom. And then I loved how this just came. I remember when I was scrapbooking this page, I think it was actually in a live, when this idea popped into my mind as I was playing to create, of course, because that's naturally how those ideas start to pop into your mind, where I was like, oh, I love that slimming up here where the border meets the photo and just kind of creating the straight line effect here. And so that was really fun to do that with the mini border. So, and then after that, once I had the nice frames into my photos, how many pictures? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So I was able to fit those 8, easily could fit another one here. And even if you wanted to do that instead of journaling, could fit another picture there. So really fun layout, actually, now that I'm looking at it. So this would go in my 2023 pile. It would go in my 2023. So I would go through all my pages, like I said, and separate them out to years. And then from there, I would start putting them into the albums. But that way I can do 1 year at a time and kind of place it in my album at that point by semi-chronicle order. It's not always perfect, but for the most part, it generally goes into the beginning of the year, the middle of the year. Where does it fall, right? This was also just a fun little detail touch. I remember feeling in the mood. Usually with those extra little details, I'm definitely one to be kind of am I in the mood? And so that was kind of fun to just add a little stitching along, just kind of this back stitch over the edge of that border. Add a fun texture to it. Okay, so this other layout, this one's pretty simple. I actually designed with just the sampler set. So I just used the one set and the sampler set. I'm always amazed with just one set, how many pages you can use. And it just amazes me to see that, just kind of seeing what you can create with a set or two. But in this case, the sampler set has that nice mixture, which is the whole point of the sampler set, is to kind of enhance and give it a try. So if you haven't tried Kiwi Lane, just know that it's so easy to use your paper stash and really pull on simple but beautiful pages so effortlessly. It really does not need overthinking every layout. This was a very general layout that I was able to just kind of sit down and whip through and have fun with. So of course I pulled on my stash. I had some of these little layers and things on my stash, but for the most part I just laid out a nice little border frame, fit my pictures inside of that, and then added some little details as far as setting the mood with those kind of little accent pieces or accessory pieces, and just letting the page kind of like breathe and speak for itself. So, and how true is that? Like, as scrapbookers, we know that like every picture has a story to tell, right? Which is why we do what we do. And inside of that, not every, you know, it not only has a story to tell, but it also has, you know, gratitude and memories and just a sense of groundness that happens when you reflect on those life stories, memories, all the above. So very simple layout. What else we got? What else are we going to find in here? So, oh, that one I see again, that year, this I just created for my daughter. So I just need to give that page to her. It was from her mission. And so I need to give that to her. Okay. What do we have in here? What do we have in here? Oh, I think that this is maybe a pile that I did mostly with sampler set. Well, let's go through it. I really don't know what we're gonna find. Okay, guys, this was one of my favorite pages now that I'm reflecting on it. Oh my gosh, I loved this page. Super fun one. This is, of course, of my daughter graduating in, what was that, 23? So super fun. And I actually need to write the date on it. So that's also something I definitely come across. I'm not going to say that every time I like have a date on it specifically. Sometimes when I'm going back through my piles, I have to like go research and be like, what? And then I'll just write it on here, 2013. I do not journal on every page. Sometimes I just feel like the pictures speak for themselves. Sometimes I want to add journaling. So, but I do think it's reasonable to say a date is definitely very much needed. And like I said, so that is something I look for. And I think that it stands out to me when I'm, you know, kind of separating out my pages again to put them in the albums. But this page, I will say, was so much fun. So you just take my word for it. If you are looking for a fun design to kind of try out this, the bones of this layout, basically what it is you have 1.5 inch strips, probably 1.5 inch by 9 inches, okay? And you just run those across. You build this nice, like, kind of pattern background. Great way to use, like, random stash of papers, too. I will say that. And then I used Nature Walk, actually, looking at this. This is just one border, though. I just ran that across the middle here. So, like other pages we do, right? We do borders top and side and bottom, like there's lots of design options. Lots of design options. But on this one, that's always fun to kind of like shift it and change it up. I just ran only one side of it, not both A and B. And then you would just stack a few layers here. And I did do a few layers, right? Like I did the flowers from Nature Walk. Love Nature Walk, okay? And this was a Kiwi Club kit. So Nature Walk was one of the featured sets. So that right away kind of gave me a general area to kind of focus on. And then once I have like this focus, which is what's so great about the Kiwi Club, then I just kind of follow that inspiration where it leads you, right? And that's really the sense of creativity and kind of strengthening that creative muscle. And so Kiwi Club really supports that. For me, I hope for you, it really is kind of great for really stretching that muscle, but also supporting on growing that muscle, that creative muscle. So outside of that, I did add in the rainbow from that set. And of course, this beautiful, one of our favorites. It came such a favorite, this little heart arrow. Such a simple detail, but actually really elevates the page in a fun way. So this type of design can be done with gears. It can be done with ornaments. It could be done with, I mean, you could do ghost coming up. Like, that's what's so fun about this type of layout design. Just seeing it again makes me want to go like kind of mimic it and scrap lift it myself and just shift the paper, shift the theme. And that's what's so fun about the designer templates in general, is that you can quickly get to that design potential and then just take that design idea and turn it into a finished page. So super fun. Okay, this is another quick fun page. Actually, I used another one of our sampler, scrapbooking kits. This is Party Time. So I just used Party Time on this layout. And then, rings. I did pair it with rings. And in this case, I did turn the pictures black and white. They were pretty random in the house. Like it was like kind of really yellow lighting. Whenever I have that more yellow lighting, if the pictures colors are kind of duller, I tend to do in black and white. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while it does. And so I just, instead of fretting about it or trying to like, oh, I can't find the right paper, turn them black and white. Again, don't overthink it. You guys were probably tired of me hearing you say that, or me say that. Don't overthink it. But this was just fun. It was a really fun page to do. I did take off an inch from the border just to kind of bring that in. Sometimes that's fun to do. The borders, of course, have, suggestions on those guidelines. So when I saw it on this page, I thought, you know what, I'm going to trim it up. I don't want to go the whole 12 inch. And so typically I do go the whole 12 inch. In this case, I chose not to. And so pretty simple, pretty fun, and documented those pictures pretty quickly. Actually, this is my daughter's 17th birthday, and so that was pretty fast this year to be able to turn around and whip that out because she just turned 17. So in September. So like I said, sometimes I'm scrapbooking more recent pictures, sometimes I'm not. Okay, so this page I created with Everyday Adventures scrapbooking kit. So this one is of my niece. I was out there visiting them in August of 2023. So I do have the little date there, so yay. And this one also I need to send to her. So I need to create a pile of years and then also pages where I may have scrapbooked them thinking of somebody else. And sometimes that happens, and in this page it was the case. So I definitely need to send this to her. Maybe I'll do a few more pages and then send them along with that. But that's almost a trap in and of itself, right? Maybe I should just do it before I stop thinking about it. But Everyday Adventures, honestly, this was an old kit too. This is like one of those Echo Park school papers, and I don't mind using Echo Park, but I will say something about their school pages tend to be a little bit more hit and miss on the patterns. I have another one that I just struggle to use because the patterns are there's just not enough blenders and other things in it. So every time I'm like, I'll come back to that one. So of course, again, that's why I love Kiwi Clubs, because I don't have to ever feel that way. But in this case, I was like determined. I was like, no, I'm not going to put this kit away again. So I dug deep and found a way to kind of incorporate some of those stickers along with, using the paper. So I put the busier pattern, in this case, the strip, and then I just pulled on these few. I still have a lot of this kit left, actually. Now looking at it, I'm pretty sure I do. And then I just used some shape scissors. Again, nothing like new or special here, guys. Just like pointing out some of those general details that are fun. And I always like a good reminder to pull out those shape scissors. So here's my reminder to you. It's kind of a fun thing to kind of change up from time to time. And again, it's so simple and standard. But I like simple, I like standard. And I think the reason why I'm okay with that in a lot of ways is because I end up completing, a pile of pages too at the same time. So, yeah, one of my favorite things to do with shape scissors is I love to, when you cut the AB border, right? Like in this case, if you were cutting these two borders out, right? Instead of doing it with straight scissors, if you haven't done this yet, and like if you're new to Kiwi Lane and you have not done this yet, I'm telling you, instead of cutting it with straight scissors, cut it with some shape scissors. It'll add an edging to each side. And it's just a fun way to kind of dress it up, change it up from maybe the typical straight. I actually haven't, it's been a while since I've done that with the borders. So I now have kind of like that itch to do that. All right, this was another fun page. Actually, this brings back a memory in and of itself. This is a page that me and Linda designed side by side, we used the same exact paper, same exact designer templates, and created 2 different layouts. And so again, just it's like a memory inside of a memory. How fun is that? This was just a really quick page. Like, of course we did it during a live. And so it was just kind of came together quickly. I did use Nature Walk again. So this is like, I guess clearly I pulled these pages. So I just happened to pull the bucket that had all my Nature Walk and everyday adventure pages and all of that stuff, which are always great because when you want that quick like layout, I use them. Whether you're new to Kiwi or not, like Nature Walk is one of my go-tos. I will just say it. If you don't have Nature Walk, it is one of my go-tos. Now, granted, I love everyday adventures as well. I haven't used Party Time, I feel like, as much as the other 2. But that might be, again, just based off of the memories that I've been kind of working on lately. So, but again, just to remind you, like it was also Nature Walk, this layout that I was sharing. So completely using the same, actually in this case, the same templates. I do think the other template we used was the placemat, if I remember correctly. So we used the same exact template, same exact paper. And I think this video is over on YouTube. So you could check out that kind of process video there. I remember feeling like that one more layer, and this definitely was true for this layout, was really going to take the page to kind of that leveled up page. And that's what I think is so fun about layering and mixing and matching, is it really does just push you on just kind of a whole another level, enhances the page in a like very, subtle but yet satisfying way as far as like to the eye. And so that's why I did this. And, I think sometimes as scrapbooking, I don't know if you guys ever do this, where you think, oh, do I want to use a whole nother sheet to like back that? But let's just face it, you have plenty of paper. So go for the extra layer. It's worth it. Go for the extra layer. And I just really loved how, building these squares, not to the full width of the background, the original 12 by 12 background, really does, really bring in the focus. And so I really wanted those pictures. In this case, I didn't mat them, which matting could have helped enhance the pictures too. But in this way, I just kind of did a big, huge backdrop mat and then built on top of that. But like I said, I just feel like it gave it an extra like sense of quality in that. So don't be afraid to go for that extra layer. I guess that's my other little 2 cents there. So again, pretty simple. Nature Walk, placemat, but was really fun. It was a really, really fun page. So this is actually from 2023 as well. And so that was really fun. We went up to Virginia and visited with Debbie, and anyways, just together, just time together, and we all need moments like that. All right. I'll try to pick it up a little bit because I'm starting to realize how many pages are in these buckets. There's lots of pages in these buckets. So that's why I was like, we're not going through all of these buckets, but I do need to slowly but surely get these into the albums. So I just figured before I tuck them away in their lovely home, I would share them one more time. Okay, so this layout was also really fun. This is a trip that I took with my sisters in February of this year, which is crazy. This feels like a whole year ago, but it wasn't. It was just in 2023 or 24. Sorry, last year was 2024. We are officially into 2025. I got to keep reminding myself. But this was our the beauty set. I can't remember what the paper kit was called right off the top of my head. But again, another Kiwi Club that just provided that inspiration for me to quickly do a page, which is why I think I'm able to kind of have these stacks. And And in some ways, it's kind of fun to see at the end of the year, be like, oh my gosh, we have 4 buckets of finished layouts. And I remember a time in scrapbooking where I felt like I didn't even have 1 bucket. So that's a lot of progress, right? And I definitely owe it all to the Play to Create system of the Kiwi Club. As a scrapbooker myself, I know that's the big contributor to just being able to feel confident and finish a few pages and have that support. And then the inspiration that's just awesome in the community that you guys all share too. So it was just a fun page. It was fun again. I did the border coming across midsection here, not touching the edge, really brought that in. The kids are playing a game, so you might hear them screaming in the background. And then on this one, I kept it straight from edge to edge. So, and I think most of that inspiration, if I was going to guess, oh, they're really screaming. I'll tell them that I'm live later. They'll be embarrassed. But beauty really, you know, has its own sense of like beauty about it. And I loved playing with that one. There's so many options on that template. You can trace it. You can use it as a stencil. You can doodle. You can, oh gosh, there's so many fun ways. But in this case, I just added a layer on top again. So talking about layers, I just took some of this fun little fancy special paper that I had in my stash. I picked up at probably Hobby Lobby or something. I tend to do that when the specialty paper's on sale. I don't know if any of you guys else do that, but I do. But then sometimes I'm like hit and miss on using them. And so it was fun just adding that little texture on top of beauty there. And then just kind of bookmarking it here with the tag Out of Nature Walk again. So this is another Nature Walk page mixed in with some Kiwi Club. All right. Oh gosh, this one was so much fun too. Was this January's of 2023? I haven't put it away. Whatever year, I can't remember what year this was or what month. Super fun. This is another fun kit. Honestly, I tend to have hard times with sports pages, so this kit really helped me. Like, it really helped. I will say, doing these little doodles on the background, since it's a dark background, all I did was take the photo template and I just twisted it, you know, and then kind of built these little frames on the background. And then used this fun little mini chevron shape here to tuck in some more action photos to kind of go along with the whole, right, the whole action of sports and things like that. I really loved how that shape kind of really add to the movement of that. And then I used rings and hexagons and then just tuck that sports soccer ball in there, which I've done that before, a few tips of that. And I've seen a few of you guys do it too. It's just an easy way. I hear so many times people being like, oh, I need a soccer an element or whatever it is. Even sometimes I hear people say like Mickey or something like, right, a very themey thing, and they're looking for that. And I'm like, you just need some kind of great paper to kind of set the stage. And then I think rings is awesome. It's a great set to kind of set in your fun little places of details. Kel, what did you say? I think 2024 was the year of Susan using Nature Walk. I'm telling you, listen, there are 3 other buckets. I think I just happened to already filter out, maybe for a previous video, that. And it's funny that you say that because this next page is Nature Walk. So once again, if you do not have Nature Walk, it's really funny that you said that. There are quite a few Nature Walks in here. I'm not gonna lie, there really is. This is Nature Walk. This is Nature Walk, the Nature Walk. But I did combine this with Be Sweet, again from the Kiwi Club. So I think that's what's so fun about it is, like, honestly, if you are just starting out with Kiwi Lane and you're wanting to stop staring at an empty page and you want to start using your paper stash and you want to kind of have like that support and you're not sure where to start, go pick up one of those starter kits. Clearly, I like Nature Walk. But when I say starter kits, like one of the scrapbooking template kits. And then with the Kiwi Club, that gives you enough to kind of switch it out. Because like these few pages that I've already shared is just, I'm using Nature Walk maybe with combination of one of the kits from the month. And then I'm using Nature Walk with one of the kits from the month. And so that right there is a great way to kind of get familiar, jump in, and have that support as you get started. This is just a fun memory. I was so excited to finally scrapbook these pictures. And I think I was holding on to these pictures a little bit for the right paper. And so of course, when this Kiwi Club kit came up the pipeline, I was like, yes! So yeah, I love it. I love it. No, I know you're not. You're not complaining. I totally understand, Gail. So yeah, I love it. I've already said I'm not even shy about being biased to Nature Walk. It's such an easy set to use. And let's just face it, even sometimes when I'm like I said, if I need to sit down and scrapbook, or I want to sit down and scrapbook, because I mean, when do I not want to sit down and scrapbook? But really, when life lets me sit down and scrapbook, I love pulling one of those sets out, going out to the living room and watching a movie with the kids or something, but keeping my hands busy. So I think that's always what I tend to grab in scenarios like that. And I have more scenarios like that than other times, or at least lately. Maybe it's just the season of life. I don't know. But again, lots of pages. Okay, we're about halfway through. So this is a look at what we've already looked at, and this is still left what was in that one bucket. And like I said, I'm not going to go through these other 3 buckets, but I will probably pop on from time to time because I do want to accomplish getting these into their albums, but I also want to kind of do a quick layout share. Oh, this one was, I haven't put this one away. Why haven't I put this one away yet? Interesting. This was an older one. From 2019. I feel like this page I didn't do this year, so it's just still sitting in my needs to be put away album. Yeah, this was just, again, another fun, inspirational challenge, I think. I remember designing with triangles, and I love triangles, not triangles, but the diamond here. I do also love the triangles, just because they're so universal. Like, I just feel like you can, just any of the backdrops, rings, ovals, like they're just so universal. I really love that, like them in my stash. Honestly, I'm trying to I had fun with the hot air balloon. I had these pictures, lots of graduation pictures. This is Abby. So again, from 2019, so a few years ago. Oh boy, has she grown up since. Crazy. And then I had these word stickers that I was like determined to use because I've had them in my stash forever. And so you can't really see them. I mean, I can see them, and I just they're kind of like glare, like transparent stickers. And I just lined them along, just adding some very positive words, this new chapter, graduation. It all goes along with, in my mind, like that reach for new heights and all of that stuff. Very positive new chapter approach. So have courage, good time, explore life, like all of that stuff. And boy, has she not really embraced the last few years. So it's crazy to think from 2019 to 2025, she's done a lot and she's accomplished a lot. So, okay, then this layout, I think this is another one that I did. I'm just going to go with it. Previous, but this has been a few years. This is from 2020. Actually, I do remember right after the lift of COVID, we went to the beach because you could keep distance at the beach for the most part, but it was a much needed break. I'm not gonna lie, it was. And so, my bestie Mindy and I just love this page. I love the memories. I love the page. I love the vibe. I love using something out of the box that I would not maybe have used in this fashion. but boy, it's making me smile. Just look at it. Like, it's so cute in my mind. Just relaxing. And I'm like, you know what? I need another beach trip. I know it's not the thing to say in January, but every season has its positive. Right now, like I said, it was cold outside. I really could use a beach trip. I could bring in some warmth. I have this little heater that I keep, I like being warm. I prefer warm over cold. And my kids keep stealing it. I bought myself a little space heater, small little heater. I keep at my feet when I'm scrapbooking. It's awesome. It just adds to my scrapbooking experience. You put on a little music. You just really enjoy the moment of the time that you have to scrapbook. That's my go-to, but my kids keep stealing it. So I did think this was really fun. Anytime I can, let's see, how do I put this? Like, cut a picture out in kind of not the old way of scrapbooking, like, right? Not like, oh gosh, like not gimmicky or anything like that. And I think circles are a safe way if you want to like add a shape to your cutting out of your picture. So that's kind of fun. I do enjoy when it works in the design, to cut your pictures out of a shape that just works with the overall page design. That's always a fun just technique, I guess you can call it. But again, pretty standard technique, but I always enjoy that when it works out. I think it's just a fun way to spotlight a picture. I have no desire to go back to the days where we used to cut all of our pictures out in shapes, but some shapes just, again, are classy and timeless, like circles. Like, they're just so timeless. Like, you can't, like, you can work with them with a lot of different designs in a page when you're planning to create it, right? And so looking at the bones of the page. Okay, so this page too, actually this was one pager I did, and then this one other one. I have had these random pictures of my grandparents that I scrapbooked, and then I believe this was before they passed away, but both of my grandparents actually did pass away the last year. So I'm glad that I have these. I'm glad that I have them, little snippets of their life, right? And it was just a fun kit to kind of, again, for me, because I really let the Kiwi Club kits in a lot of ways. And I will say most of these have been Kiwi Club kits so far. I do have some but we'll get to those in the other ones. But I will say, I think most of the pages we've seen today in this pile, oh, there's a few in here that aren't Kiwi Club, have been from Kiwi Clubs. But for me, I think that's why I'm able to be like getting through some of these finished pages, because I really allow that Kiwi Club emotionally, objectively focus, has just really helped to kind of help me to narrow in and like take that kit and say, like, what can I scrapbook with? Which I know is something we talk about in the Kiwi Club often during the club events, but it's where I have found the most success. And so if you're struggling, I just encourage you to give it a try, what we teach in the Kiwi Club, because I think you'll be surprised on how many just focus and attention that you can give to your pages, but at the same time really use up the kits in a way that maybe inspire you in different ways, and allow the kits to inspire you in what pages to complete. Because for me, I'm like, any finished page is a success. And so finishing a page is a success in and of itself, but it's also super joyful and rewarding. And so scrapbooking is just full of joy. It really is. I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful hobby. So, so grateful for these pages. So grateful. And I'm grateful I have those pictures. They just really share a lot of a life lived, and like I said, a little snippets of that life. I mean, like for me, like right there, like that just speaks volume of my grandma and grandpa. Like they were hunters. They did hunt, and they, but no. Okay. It's not one of my Like, I don't even know how to hunt. But point being is that it's interesting to see that side of them, because as they were older, like, I would never imagine that, right? And most of my life, like, I knew them when they were older. So it's fun to see these phases of life, like, where, like, I don't know that person at that phase of life, but I do know that person. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't know. Here is another page. Okay, I am getting to that end, but I'm just going to keep going because that was my plan. Oh gosh, guys, this was such a funny memory. I have a video that needs to go with this. Okay, so that's my other, I guess, 2 cents. Where is my stickers for that? What I'll often do, I'm not quite doing it in this live, but I will share what I tend to do is I'll get sticky notes. So again, when I'm going back through pages, and where's a pen? Well, I'll probably need a pen. And in this case, I'm gonna write QR code because I have a video that goes with this. So sometimes I don't add my videos, and we have a great process video over in YouTube and also in the community that goes over QR codes. It's absolutely one of my favorite things to do. When if I don't do it in the creation of the page, just like what I was talking about, like sometimes I'll miss the date or the thing, and I'll just add that right there before I go through and add my pages to the album. So it's kind of like that last check-in, right? Before I put a page in an album. And I've just trained myself to kind of take each one. That's why it's quite a process, because you get lost in memory lane on top of making these little things. So yes, I will make a little thing that says like add QR code, and then I'll probably just add it right here. I'll just find a little crevice or somewhere to kind of add that QR code to my page. You know, I know that they have that little fancy QR code that a lot of times, I don't even know what the company's name is. I should, but I don't. They sell like these little cards, but they're only like 40 seconds. Like most of my videos are not 40 seconds if I'm even taking video. So I like to do the process that I share. And I've used it for at least the last 6-7 years. And I should even just go back to pages that I didn't have this process part of my process and add maybe old videos to that. But I don't know if I could even find old videos. So I'm just going to go now and next. Don't worry about the past. Just go now and next and start from this forward. But I do have a video for this, and so I definitely wanted to add that. So it's quite a process, as you can see, sometimes when I'm adding my, I do also have a video for this one. This is an older page. I didn't do this year. So I must have pulled it out for a reason, took a picture, and then added to this page to put it back. It's still a great page. I still love it. I'm just saying I can't write it off on this year. I didn't do that this year. I did this the year before, I believe. So that can't count to my points on my thing. It's okay. It's still all contributing to the finished album. But yeah, this is just a really fun page. The travel, the map. I haven't used the globe for a bit. I would love to use the globe. My intent was to use the globe in a non-traveling approach, just because I think globes are so iconic. I don't know. I just really think globes are awesome. I have a hard time going in. This is not great because me and David both are suckers for this. Like if we go to like an antique store or something and we see globes, we're like, oh, that's such a cool. And we're like, what are we going to do with it? We have to like talk ourselves out of it. But we usually do talk ourselves out of it. But oh, the temptation is real. Oh, the temptation is real. All right. So this one, ovals and briar crescents, which I think was just released this year. Crazy again. So this was a fun page too. I remember playing with ovals and briar crescents for the first time. I don't know if you guys have pulled it out yet, played with it. You'll have to let me know in the comments. But oh my gosh, I just remember feeling so like, I don't know, just excited and energized. And it just is such a fun one, whether it's Easter or I think that's what we started with was Easter pages. And then I was just dying to use it on like more of the travel page or family page. And so that was really fun. But definitely have the dates here. So lots of 2023 memories, it looks like. Some of past ones in there. I definitely am not caught up to 2023 pictures. Again, I have pictures in my printed photos that I need to organize them. They got a little disorganized in the last few years. I used to have a better organization system, which I probably should share because it's worked for years. But I will say I've been a little bit slacking this last year, 2 years. So it needs a little pick me up in the photo department. But I do have pictures from past times. But again, until I kind of feel inspired, I don't like forcing. I like to feel inspired by the paper or the elements and then be like, oh, what pictures can I work with that? That way I'm not kind of forcing it. So that's my approach to scrapbooking. And I definitely felt that with this paper kit and these pictures. I was like, oh. And mostly I will say, I actually think the driving force for this page to like encourage me to pull this out and scrapbook it was Briar Crescents and Ovals. I was like, I want to use it on a travel page. So, or just kind of like that family page. And so I was like, what pictures do I have? And then what papers? So whatever the driving force is, that's usually how it works on helping me decide what to scrapbook. I do think a lot of times it helps give me something to focus on, like I said previously, and attention. Here's another ovals. Gosh, this paper was so old. I wanted to use it just to kind of use it up. I will say it's not my favorite. It's a little busier for me, but it is older paper. I can't remember what brand, but like when I say old, like, you know, that type of 2005, 2002 type paper. But the pictures really still shine on the page. It just was a little bit more of a struggle, but it was from my stash, like I said, and I was like, oh, let's use it up. Let's finally give it a home. So it's made its way. It's made its purpose. It's fulfilled its purpose as paper, and it was transformed into this page, and it's now going to have a home in my albums. So that was another fun page. You know, these random pictures, I find them, they're little gems when I find them. I think Abby took these pictures, and then of course I was like, send them to me. It's like hoarding, like you just want, like, you know, send them. I need them. So super fun. Because, you know, I think at this point in their life, these two, they're good. They're kind to each other, but they're siblings. They bicker a lot. So little moments like this, I'll just like soak it up. And then rings again, or ovals, sorry. So just another fun page at the beginning, or ovals we released at the beginning of 2024 too. So just another fun page. Easter, man. Easter's going to be here before we know it, guys. Really, I mean, I'm not trying to jump the gun here, but that's how the months work. They really come quickly. They're short and fast. I don't know how it works. Doesn't make sense, but that's how it always happens. What is that saying? The weeks are long, the years are short, I believe is the saying. Yeah, so true. So true. Well, we made it to the end of my pile. So this is 2024, 2024, 2023. So I'll have to separate these back out, but this is another memory, 2020. Oh, that one's old. That's quite a few years ago. This is 22, or no, 23. Just super fun pages. Memories. So fun. Well, if you missed the first few, definitely check out the beginning of this video. And if you don't have Nature Walk, just know I really do recommend it. Highly recommend it. I think it's spotlight on these few pages that I showed today. Let me know if you guys like this. I'll share the, I'll try to jump on. It's late tonight, but you know what? I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump on. I always hesitant sometimes in the evenings because of the light and other things, but you know, that's really sometimes the only time it works out, after work and food and dinner and all the above. But, I'm happy to do more layout shares before I do the rest of the buckets and put them in their albums, but it is time. They need to go into their albums. It's one of my goals for this new year. Put the pages away into albums. So, well, I hope you guys stay safe, stay warm. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment. Always happy to answer any questions that you may have. And hopefully you find some time to play to create. Go enjoy this beautiful hobby. Enjoy all the joy that it brings. And of course, I would love to be inspired by your pages, so share them with us. I'm always a big fan of that, so definitely keep sharing. I love seeing them, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. All right, bye guys.